Hey there, I'm another med school YouTuber, and here I sit on my couch and casually talk about my experience in college and medical school and give a few hot takes on life advice. And today, something that I feel pretty strongly about are the reasons that med school YouTubers are not real life. I am also a med school YouTuber. You will also see none of my real life, but I hope I can give some gentle critiques of a lot of the popular med school YouTubers and like why they might cause harm to people watching them. Okay, so one is perfect studying, I'll call it. I think lots of times med schoolers will do like a vlog type style video where they go throughout their day and they show themselves studying for, multiple hours at a time, 1 to 2 hours at a time, doing Anki, doing practice questions, all things that are perfectly fine. But I think for people watching this, they can think that if they are not able to achieve that level of sustained focus and organization, that they can't do medical school. I know that I often watched lots of med school YouTubers sitting at libraries for hours at a time, studying for whole days at a time, doing practice questions all day long, and thinking, I can't do this, I can't go to medical school. That is false. I'm a medical student, I am surviving, I am finishing up my clinical year, and I can tell you that I go on the internet while I study, I eat lots of snacks while I study, I have bad days, I use inefficient systems where I draw things out over and over again. I don't recommend getting into bad study habits, obviously, but I think it's important to show that not all studying has to be perfect. Sometimes you're really, really tired and all you can do is lay in bed and have that video playing on your laptop while you lay there and watch it. And that's fine. Obviously it's not the most efficient, but when you're tired and you just gotta get through, you just gotta get through. And I think that's probably not shown enough on med school YouTube because no one wants to show themselves eating popcorn and drinking Diet Coke, sitting on their bed watching a lecture at 2x speed because their test is tomorrow. It happens, and I think it's just something that I don't see, that I think people who are thinking of going to medical school or pre-meds watching kind of need to know about. Okay, so next is like the aesthetic room or desk trend, and the focus on stuff. So it's fun to look at where people live. It's fun to look at their desks and their interior design and their room and things like that. But I can guarantee you that most medical students do not have a clean room most of the time. I also think there's a lot of emphasis on like the stuff that people are using, like what's in my bag and like the pen that they use and the notebook that they use, which in a way is comforting because it makes you feel like if you buy this thing, then you can be better at studying and that you can be a little bit more efficient. But the reality is that none of that stuff really matters all that much. I think being comfortable in your environment and like having a pen that you like can be useful. But I think what really matters is your mindset and your organization and your ability to just kind of like work hard every day and engage in your material and stay motivated. Your stuff doesn't matter. Your bedroom doesn't matter. As long as you are like comfortable and able to stay well and sustain yourself, that's what really matters. And I use a pen and paper and a laptop with headphones. That's all I got. The only caveat I will add to that though is lots of my friends do use iPads and Apple Pencils and they do like that a whole lot. I never got into the iPad Apple Pencil thing, but lots of my classmates do like that. So I will give the caveat that one like item that I've seen used that people do seem to really enjoy is that iPad Apple Pencil combo. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is the exclusion of the real life that continues. I think people will kind of make reference to this casually in their videos, but I think it can be scary for someone watching to think, I have all of this stuff going on in my personal life, I have health stuff, I have family stuff, I have financial stuff, I have stuff with school that's really hard. I can't do medical school, and it's not true. Life stuff will continue to happen throughout medical school, and I would hope, my school I know is very flexible with emergencies that come up. It's hard, but they are flexible, and I don't expect med school YouTubers to vlog stuff going on with their family or with their health or with their finances, but it's not something that is included in videos, and it can sort of give a false sense of what is required to succeed in medical school. And life stuff happens, life is hard, it keeps happening, but you can get through, and it's just part of the experience. Okay, and the last thing I kind of want to talk about is the exclusion of relationships. I don't expect med school YouTubers to film their friends without their consent or show their roommates in any of this, but a lot of medical school, you're with people a ton. You live with roommates. I live with roommates. You study with friends, and then you do your rotations where you are just around people constantly. And it can get lonely for sure. I think especially in those preclinical years when you are just studying all day long and that's the only thing that you're there for, that can absolutely be lonely. Clinical rotations can be lonely because you are oftentimes switching services like every 2 weeks or every month, and your team is constantly changing and you don't really have a role. That can be really lonely, but most of my day I am surrounded by people. I'm oftentimes in a workroom with like 5 computers and a bunch of people typing away. I'm with patients, I'm with nurses, I'm with my friends. I think I treasure my alone time these days. So I don't think you kind of see that as much on lots of med school YouTube channels, which like is fine. Don't film people in your life without their consent. But I know that like as a college student watching med school YouTube, I never realized that like, no, you're around people all the time. So it's helpful if you like have good people skills and are friendly and know how to get along. I think a lot of getting through clinical year is just learning like how to conduct yourself and how friendly you're professional to be depending on who you're with. Yeah, so those are my things. I just knew, and I'm making this video mostly because I was in college and I watched a ton of med school YouTube. And it made me feel really bad about myself because I didn't live in like a beautiful environment. I struggled with like bad study habits and bad sleep habits and bad food habits. I just kind of had like a messy normal life, and I would watch these people on YouTube and think I could never live as perfectly as they do. And you don't have to. I just want to reassure you that there are regular people that make it to medical school, and it is definitely hard, and I don't encourage bad habits in any way, but I understand that it's hard and it does happen and it's okay. So I just want to put this out there on the internet as a reminder that social media is not real life, and that applies to med school YouTube as well. Have a great day, friends. Bye.